Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the BNR Racing Network. Here tonight as we head to Kansas in the AMS Cup Series. Mile and a half. High line can tend to be the favorite. Bottom lane can be even better. But I'm going to go over the little race information as you see here. We are at Kansas. It's a 1.5 mile track. The current track temperature is 82 degrees. A little warm, a little hot, not too bad. The weather outside is 70%. Humidity is 58. It is overcast with an 8 mile per hour wind. They do run fixed sets. It is 70% fuel. They get one fast repair. So, that is that. So, Kansas can always bring out good racing. I enjoy it. So I like Kansas. Kansas is amazing. It's fantastic. Always enjoyed it. Always enjoyed Kansas. Multi-lane groove track. So be prepared to look at different lanes being used. The middle, the high, middle, the low. Very aggressive on the start. Kind of like in today's world, how that epic finish at the end. So yeah, you see Madigan on top of the board. Madigan's been very great. So just have to wait and see. Bolton moves up to the top, tied at the moment with the 76 and 94. So that's going to be interesting to see if the 94, I don't know if that was his first lap or second lap, but that will be determined as well. So good old KT. P4. Adam Boughton is P2. So he was our chatting buddy last week. It was good to have him up there. I enjoyed it. So always good to have the fans out there tuning in and giving us a follow, like, share, smash those like buttons, and that'll be much appreciated. Get the share out there and help us out. I mean, the more we get out there, the better it'll make your guys' stuff as well. So you see there, Taylor jumps up to P4. As now the 73 is now out there. Coming to take his first lap. This is Taylor's second lap here. You see there, got that diamond effect to the bottom of the track. And then brings it out. So Bonani hit the wall there, so that's going to invalidate his lap. I'm guessing the same thing with the 44. Anyway, I'm going to go over to starting grid real fast. So starting P1 would be Joe Madigan. We'll just say that. And we have Adam Boughton, then Michael Cochran. P4 would be Jason Taylor. P5 would be Kevin Trozinski. P6 would be Will Roberts. P7 would be Greg Elliott. P8 will be Aaron Spear. P9 will be Michael Carter. P10 will be Sean O'Brien. P11 will be Justin Openchowski. P12 will be Randy Sample. P13 will be Brian Baker. P14 will be Matt Owens. P15 will be Antonio Bonani. P16 will be Avery McDonald. P17 will be Josh Farmer. P18 will be Clint Collins. P19 will be John Neckridge. P20 will be Chris Ostrander. And P21 will be Keenan Miller. So, 21 drivers here tonight. For 133 laps, which makes it 199.5 miles. So that rounds it out to about 200 miles. So they have a 200-mile eventer here, which is going to provide great racing. Not sure if it's going to transition in. Don't think so. So there he is. There's Madigan. As we'll watch these drivers peel off the pit road to do their warm-up lap. So Madigan, Barton on the front row. Row 2 would be Taylor and Cochran. Row 3 would be Roberts and Trzynski. Row 4 would be Spear and Elliott. Row 5 would be O'Brien and Carter. So the pace car is about to peel off here. As Madigan and Barton will lead the field to green.
Green flag.
And just like that, the green flag is out. As these drivers get ready to head into turns 1 and 2. Off of turn 4 they come. See there Madigan with a great start there. Look at that. 4 wide, 3 wide out of turn 2 by those fellas. I love Kansas. Kansas is a very good track. Provides very great racing. Madigan Barton still up front, nothing changed there. I think a few changes throughout the track here tonight, so. You see there, 65 was put 3 wide, but he ended up coming up to avoid that, so. Sharp looking 98 paint. See there at 24 looking to go to the inside of the 98. As Farmer is back here just riding along, cruising behind the 24. Right now the the low line is the dominant lane at the moment until there's enough rubber built up down there that it will start to transition to the outside lane where it seems like turns 1 and 2 that's the dominant lane there. And then 3 and 4 everybody just likes to skedaddle down through the inside line there to the best that they can. Some of them feel confident in the outside lanes, but we'll see a lot of that by selecting a few drivers too as well. So this is right on board with Michael Carter as he's in the outside lane. You can hear the slight crack of the throttle there. And we heard that from Farmer, a little upshift or downshift there. Should be turning 4th gear around and back up to 5th gear. So that's going to be interesting to see throughout the night here tonight in the AMS Cup Series. So 6 laps complete, going on 7. So see the 24 looking to get back to the inside of the 98. KT caught in a 3 wide there, but he's going to roll out of that. He don't want no part of that. So the battle here. Oh, never mind. With Farmer and Openchowski. There you see Farmer riding the outside lane, gets that run to the back of Carter. But now the 24 Sample is looking to get by the 12 Trzynski for 9th position. Will Roberts did move up to that 3rd position, keeping it very close to Barton and Madigan there. So right on board here with Spear. Very great battle offhand here. Nothing too much at the moment. Besides a couple of 3 wide, and I haven't seen anybody slip yet. That'll be coming in the later run where the tires start to wear. So. See KT riding along down there, just whatever the boys going by. Michael Carter back on board here, still riding the outside lane, trying to carry that momentum. But with these cars, the side draft is brutal, so it will slow you down. So. As KT looks to stay in front of Bonani. So doing the best he can there. As there Bonani goes to the inside of the 98 of Carter. Looking to take that position away from him. As now he makes his way on to the 77 for that top 10 position there. So 13 laps in the books here tonight in the AMS Cup Series. As KT looking to straddle that seam there on the bottom, straddle the white line, protect the bottom lane. He's going to put Bonani in the middle, give him enough room just in case. But now when he comes back up, they're going to continue to be 3 wide, going into turns 1 and 2. Bonani in the 77. You see there, the 35 does get tight lifts off the throttle, so he didn't have a coming together there. But you see there, the 77 is Spear continues to lock up the 10th position as KT looks to run him down 14 laps in. But Bonani there is still on the outside lane trying to make some ground up to get those positions back, but being put 3 wide here, you're abusing the left sides and right sides of the tires. So don't know how much grip is going to be left on the car halfway through the run. So what you see there, Baker right there in front of him, as now Carter gets on by him and Oponchowski. So Oponchowski is probably going to have that medium to long run car. We still haven't really seen it yet, but we know he can capitalize very good. So that's no problem there. But still, we had a lead change there. Bolton now up to first place with Madigan in second. Madigan did start on the pole, so he still in second place, being under attack by Taylor there. So Bolton's got the nice clean air and setting the pace too as well. So clean air matters here with these cars. The dirty air hates these cars. It really throws off the handling and gives you a very ill car as well. We've seen that last night in the Cup Series, how much dirty air impacted it. But not from Martin. He ended up having that run too as well. So last lap, was hoping it would have stayed green, but Kyle Busch lost her, and he had he was going to beat Benny either way. But overall, it was still a great finish. Sunday night's race, so hopefully they can put on just as a good finish here tonight in the AMS Cup Series. So we're 18 laps in.
Yeah, only 18 laps in. Green flag all the way to lead us off here. Sorry for getting in a little bit late.
I was going to say, I didn't even hear you coming.
I'm a sneaky person. Madigan trying to work that high line, wrapping the high side through 1 and 2, wrapping it around to get momentum to carry on to Botten. He looks to be taking the lead away here in the next couple of laps. I would foresee it to happen if he can just get a line going to get around Botten, but at the moment Highline working to his advantage. If he comes off of it, his line might be halted, but Jason Taylor, who is carrying into the playoffs with a load of momentum, a truckload of momentum, is sitting in third position. So this is the first race that starts the 6-round playoff of the AMS Cup Series here at Kansas. So everybody who is in the playoffs really trying to get as many points as possible, keep carrying them forward. Oh, multiple drivers tagging the wall on the exit of turn number 2. So
that 77 had a big lick.
Big lick indeed. Like you talked about, Brian, the cars very aero-sensitive, and they can get very, very pushy on the corner exits, especially turn number 2, where it's the most narrow of the 4 corners here. Especially the 2 corner exits, turn 4 and turn 2. So last night, I did a Richmond broadcast, so basically picture Richmond if we can, and just widen that up to 1.5 miles, and you basically have Kansas. Kansas and Richmond, you have to drive them very similar, even though they are 2 distinct, entirely different tracks. You do have to drive them similarly as far as backing up, corner entry, and trying to keep the momentum up and about in your automobile.
Yeah. You see Will Roberts there falling to P5, was in the top 3 for a little bit. Don't know if the tires were...
Or maybe the 3-wide battle right in front of him that was going on. Kind of, like you said, don't know if it's the tires at the moment or if it's just all the battle that's going around. Fuel, I do know for a fact, 1.5 miles with the 70% fuel, we should be seeing anywhere from 35 to 45 should be the pit window, Brian. If you see cars pitting sooner, then obviously short pitting will occur, but I don't think it would truly benefit if you drastically short pit. What I mean, like 30 laps into a run, if you do decide to pit then, I don't truly think it'll help you. You have to truly short pit a few laps before everybody else for it to actually be any type of advantage here at Kansas. But man, tight-knit battle right in front of Will Roberts going on. Michael Cochran in the Sinclair car, he is up amidst this fight as well.
Yeah, but Madigan's still fighting strong there. He ain't giving these guys any...
Botton's still fighting strong, even though Madigan, he took a mad charge trying to take the lead away, but once he got caught up right up top, nipped in the dirty air, they battled for 3 wide for a couple of laps, and that momentum surely went to the wayside of Madigan. He's having to regroup, but Jason Taylor, JT, he's taking the fight all over Botton now at the moment, as you're starting to see third place get kind of put in the sucker hole or just kind of brought back to Michael Cochran and Will Roberts and Greg Elliott there. Battles all around, still raging on here. Early going, only 25 cycles complete here at Kansas.
Oh yeah, you see Michael Cochran applying the pressure to that 76 machine of Madigan. Ain't giving up too much. He's gonna apply it every ounce he can, but I think that dirty air is just preventing him from getting... Oh, Madigan's in the wall. That's gonna give the advantage to Cochran there as he looks to go to the inside of the 76 machine there. But the problem is, can he get the stick on that bottom lane, or is Madigan gonna have that run off? You see there, Cochran looks to slide up in front of him, and just enough. Madigan's going to give him a little love tap there.
Yes, with the lap prior, Madigan got tight right in the center of the corner. Right when you're expecting the car to keep turning, it just ultimately stopped turning. So right in the center of the corner, the car just goes into the fence on him. So that's going to be a struggle trying to get the car to rotate center off, it looks like, for some of these drivers here tonight for sure, especially cut up in that dirty air like we have seen most of the evening so far. Botton and Taylor, they are trying to drive away from all this madness behind them. Cochran keeps trying to get into third position, but it is a stranglehold trying to get into that third, and Jason Taylor gets by Botton. At least at the moment, they're having a blow back and forth. I'm not sure who led lap 28, but it was close, that's for sure. Now, look at that. Farmer has got into the mix. He's now inside the top 5, currently 4th position.
Yeah, Farmer straddling that low seam there. Oh.
Madigan, he's starting to kind of lurk back a couple of positions from being up here battling for the lead. Now, second off the lead in 6th position. Maybe too many scrapes to the right side. Maybe just in this first opening salvo here of the race, maybe trying to see how hard he could possibly charge, maybe what all he could get from the car. Of course, that's what we see some drivers do. They see what they can get right off the get-go, and then they kind of rework their strategy from that point on.
Yep.
Botton, Taylor, Cochran, Farmer, and O'Brien, the top 5. Greg Elliott keeps flirting, but he's currently just stabilized in the 6th position. Madigan now back into 7th, Roberts 8th, Michael Carter 9th, and Randy Sample rounds out the top 10. Taylor and Botton still battling for the lead. Now it looks like Jason Taylor has secured the lead away from Botton. Michael Cochran looking to the outside of Botton now.
Botton's pitting. Madigan's pitting.
Oh, okay. So I was off by just a few laps as far as fuel mileage. My apologies. So, especially for the hard chargers, Brian, what we classify as hard chargers, people who were up at least in the top 5, top 10 positions, areas of the pack, that, at least you think those guys will most definitely be burning the most fuel in their carburetors.
Yep. Which is,
So,
in simple terms, as full throttle all the way. No cracking the throttle too much. Just full send go.
yeah, there may be a couple of hiccups or a couple of burps, but it's mainly just to settle the nose and then bam, you're back on it again, full song. Others who are just outside the top 10 or maybe just inside the top 10, they're going to be pedaling, they're going to be working the throttle and maybe trying to get a couple of more laps out of it. But others, man, there's so many different ways to conserve or maybe get a few more laps than you would want. So it looks like this race is going to be cut up into maybe 4 pit stops in total of the evening.
That looked like Kevin had an oopsie. I think he did.
I think you're right. You are 100% right.
You see here, gets on that apron. You see that little bounce he had. Probably carrying too much speed. Will trying to lock her down. Yeah, he locks the front up. And
Oh, he locks it up big time, and he's going to miss the commitment line.
oof.
He misses both commitment lines, the actual commitment line and then the iRacing commitment line. I think he actually does get it hard left into the pits, though. But that's going to be a penalty, regardless, I think, of iRacing. So, unsafe pit road entry, I do believe, is what that is classified as.
See there, we got a few more pit tickets there. Openchowski and Spear.
And if Openchowski could have kind of joined a little bit earlier on in the season, what kind of could have been for him earlier on, you might as well think. I don't remember Openchowski being here with us all season long, so.
No, I think he came in at about halfway through, I think.
I love that Greg Elliott keeps finding Bud Moore paint schemes to throw back to, so I'm going to have to get on to him again about not driving the number 15 if we talk to him. I'm going to have to talk him into being the number 15 as much as he wants to run the Bud Moore paint. Right now, it's kind of a, I want to say that's a Brett Bodine Bud Moore paint scheme that he's rocking at the moment.
So these two still have yet to pit.
Yeah, they're, like you talked about, Taylor, Cochran, O'Brien, Roberts, and Sample, Bonini, and Neckrich, Baker, and Collins. Collins pitted, I think. Anyway, those are the ones that need to pit. The ones that I spilled off, the top 8, I do believe, need to pit, right?
Yes.
Or the top 5. Top 5, top 8? Top 8.
Top 8. Maybe
10-4.
9th.
No, Botten does not need to pit.
Collins.
Or, yes, Collins, my apologies, yes. Top 9. So, like I kind of said, I did speculate the fuel mileage was like it was supposed to be. So we kind of saw a short taker come down, and that's kind of what led the cycle to actually fully commence. I feel like they could have went a little bit longer, but they decided not to. They decided to basically kind of start splitting it. You would suspect the next green flag cycle to commence around lap 63 to 66. Hopefully, we don't see any B-range clone troopers coming out and trying to, storm a raid here at Kansas Motor Speedway.
You see Sample is in the pits now. with Baker.
So probably 6 more drivers need left to pit out of that 9 or 8 that we talked about.
Yeah, I would say so. That'd be the 7. Neckridge hanging strong there in the P6. 7 drivers on the lead lap at this current time. You see there,
I talked about a while ago, these 7 drivers are the ones that are most definitely trying to go the distance, get all they can out of that fuel tank. Kind of surprised at JT in doing this. Kind of thought he would come down with the ones he was battling amongst.
Neckridge
But
is in the pit. Taylor's in the pits.
Indeed. So
Cochran's in the pits.
I don't really... Go ahead.
I said, so we should expect O'Brien and Roberts to pit next time by.
At least. You don't really expect them going, 3 more laps, maybe 1 or 2, but not 5 more,
Hey, you see Roberts coming in the pit now. O'Brien is still out there, I do believe. Nope, he's in the pits. So this will cycle out to Bolton being the leader. With Farmer, Madigan, Carter, Elliott. So you see right there, O'Brien and Roberts will come out P9 and P10. Well, Roberts won't, but O'Brien will. He'll continue to stay P9. Roberts ended up getting passed by 2 to 3 cars, so he'll lose those.
He's probably still going to cycle down to at least 13th. So he's down to about 12th to 13th position, Roberts is. But O'Brien, like you talked about, he was able to have a decent delta to where he was still able to stay within the top 10 once he came out of his green flag cycled pit stop there. So everybody pretty much, yes indeed, everybody is cycled out. And that first wave of green flag cycle pit stops is done and over with. So at the moment, biggest loser out of those pit stops, in my opinion, would have to be Michael Cochran in the 42 Sinclair car, and maybe even go as far back as Neckridge, because he was, I want to say Neckridge was closing in about 9th or 8th position, but then could have had a speeding penalty in the pits to put him way down in 20th position, I do believe, 1 lap down. So tough break for Neckridge, but yeah, it's all about who is trying to go the distance here, maybe see all 133 laps green this evening, and that's what some of these guys are banking on, obviously trying to get as much as they can out of that first fuel cycle. Boughton now, though, with a 4.5 second lead over Farmer. Madigan has worked his way back into 3rd position. Michael Carter 4th, and Greg Elliott rounds out the top 5. Jason Taylor, like we just talked about, being one of the last pit takers in 6th position. Avery McDonald in 7th. And Miller in the 82 car in 8th position. almost did it. Sean O'Brien Jr. Ninth position, and Openskowski in fifth position. He is in the number 5 in 10th position. So that rounds out the top 10. 50 laps in the books complete here. All green flag action currently at Kansas in the AMS Cup Series. Brought to you by the VNR Racing Network.
I do believe these
So,
drivers head to Darlington next week.
now let me get the handy dandy cell phone over here, and we will look at the schedule, Brian. I do believe it is Darlington, but, clarification.
Because I think they are trying to at least follow the...
Yes, sir, it is Darlington.
Oof. That's right.
So, it's a schedule that lightly mimics the actual real-life Cup schedule. 16 races and I'm sure it'll be a few-week hiatus, and then at least 16 more races to end the season with, I could only imagine. That's what I have been told, though, at least. That's what they do over here in the AMS side of things.
Oh yeah, so you see Madigan there back up to P3. Carter is right there, still sniffing that the wake. You see there, but Madigan does hit the wall there, which is going to bring Carter a little bit more closer to him as well. So... 3 wide for a brief moment, and then they backed out. The 2 lappers fighting for position there of Baker and Neckridge. So if that caution was magical to fly, I want to say Baker would be the lucky dog. So Cochran got his lap back, so he's now back on the lead lap. And with Bonani, so...
Yes, Baker would be the lucky dog recipient at this moment in time. You are correct.
Now we're expecting
Baker
to see those short pitters start pitting in the next handful of laps. So...
Yep. Anywhere from 8 to 10 laps from now, we should see those pits open up again. And I tell you, with the different strategies that is afoot in this race is really, really intriguing as far as who has fresher tires win.
Yep. And these guys have unlimited sets of tires, so that's always a good thing for these guys. So...
So you can really see, here at Kansas, the track is very wide. You have multiple lanes here. There was a resurface, a slight reconfiguration years ago when they resurfaced the track, and a lot of the drivers, it's just a single lane, blah, 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 and everything. And for a couple of years, it was a bit of a snooze fest, but I would say after that, anytime a track gets resurfaced, regraded, repurposed, the first race or two is always kind of skeptical or a bit iffy. But after that, I would say Kansas has produced some real great racing. Before the resurface, it was a bit iffy. It was normally just a fuel mileage race because cautions years ago was kind of scarce and far few in between, and then so forth. You didn't have stage racing years ago, right? So, anywho,
it was just raced all the way to the end.
Exactly, and one of the reasons why
they got to fix is that line.
What line?
At Kansas. The apron
what line
line.
At Kansas?
doesn't match the start
Oh,
finish line.
well, and there's a reason why, they suggest you not to go down the apron, but Larson, it kind of reminded me of one of our finishes back in the day.
I mean,
Larson kind of was
it was a
like,
very good race. It was though. They were really.
Larson,
I thought Busher had it. Absolutely, I did. I wanted him to get it. Like hell yeah, man! You worked your ass off for it. And they were saying the Fords weren't really predominant this year.
well, Blaney, Busher, Kozlowski, Gregson really have been the only four Fords out of the fleet of Fords that are in the Cup Series, right? So there's only been a few of them that have been present.
Doesn't it hurt you to say Noah Gregson in the Ford?
A little bit, knowing that he was with Toyota and Chevrolet pretty much all of his career, and then he's finally with Ford now. But I mean, he's getting top 5, top 10s, and
that's
good
all
to
that
see
really
it.
matters. That's all that really matters. That's what's going to get you
Not,
up the points there.
not like he was ever going to get that stuff in the Legacy Motor Club equipment. So
Oh no. Ah, poor Jimmy. Poor Jimmy.
I didn't even really see what happened to Jimmy Fox in their replay.
He checked up because he saw smoke in the front. There was contact, and he thought someone was going around. And
Corey plowed him over.
Yeah, they just ran him right over, and then it just shot him straight down the apron, and like it literally lifted his rear right up off the ground.
Yeah, like Fox had all these replays, but it was like right after the contact was made, but they had the in-car replay, looking back at Jimmy, and you never could. I hate those, like, a camera looking at a driver, and it's like, that's cool and all, but like, you don't necessarily. I like watching the camera angle of over the driver's shoulder in like a sports car competition.
Yep.
You get to see the track and how the driver is struggling with the wheel, if he is. What's going on. And you see Michael Carter getting swallowed up there by Greg Elliott, and company. Jason Taylor, he's back in the wall.
Oh, he's getting tight. Elliott, it's going to force Madigan up in the wall again. And Taylor's like, see ya. Now we see there, Ostrander's in the pit, so now they're going to start their cycle back out again, Will.
Yes, indeed, Brian.
Madigan's now back in the pits. So those early takers who came in earlier on, we're going to start to see them on the pits. Right there you got McDonald back in the pits. So we're going to start seeing a few more go as well, besides the late drivers who pitted a little bit later, which I do believe was Taylor, O'Brien, Openchowski. I forgot who else. I think Baker, Neckridge.
Yep. Randy.
Collins.
Yep. Cochran.
Yep. So we'll start to see those drivers start to shimmy on up a little bit in those standings. So see here right on board with Elliott there in the 8 Motorcraft Ford. Quality parts. I'm sorry we got off topic. Well, not really, but it was the actual race itself here, so we kind of kept it in the loop of Kansas. So
it wasn't fully off topic.
Farmers now.
It was still NASCAR equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't fully derailed.
Same track. So.
Yeah, like I said, about that time for the pit stops to occur again for the second time of asking, live green flag action pit stops. So mistakes can be one of lost here. True for that statement, more than just regular terrible towel incidents. So
I thought that's the paint scheme he was in. The 89. That is the throwback to Dale Earnhardt Jr. that I think Chase Elliott is going to be running, I think. for
Yep,
Darlington.
Chase of Darlington. Yep.
I wish somebody else better would have put that on their car, like maybe
Maybe the
Kyle
48, so
Larson.
they could have actually had the number font correctly with the 8.
Or maybe Kyle Larson.
Um,
I think Kyle Larson probably would have been a better fit, maybe.
the number font doesn't look right with the 9, with what they're trying to do with the 8, because it's a 9. I
Yeah,
have to run emergency bathroom break, Brian. My apologies. Be right back.
you're good. Anyway, here you see Sample there, P4. As Madigan looks to go by, as now these few pit takers that came in early now come up into the racing lane. It is going to throw these drivers off there. As you see there, Farmer looks to go to the inside of the 24 and 94. As he's going to force him up a little bit on that 24. Going to get the 24 tight and into the wall there. But now here comes Elliott in the 8, who pitted a little bit ago. So they are over halfway, so that's always a good thing. When you start winding these laps down, it just makes it better for these guys. So it is going to be strategy that is going to win this race. So if you have that right strategy, you will be there at the end. So 9 drivers on the lead lap. Neckridge, Baker, Bonani, Cochran, Openchowski, Sample, Roberts, O'Brien, and Taylor. So a little bit closer to 80 laps is when you start to see these top 9 start to make their pit stop. So they got their cars well put out for them for the end. So that's the problem. When you pit earlier, you kind of shorten yourself a bit. So not a single caution yet. Now you see Ostrander, Trzynski, Owens, and Spear 2 laps down. Hate to see it for those boys. You see here Roberts now on the bottom lane as Farmer looks to go on by him. I do believe the 78 is going to make his pit stop here this lap. Oh, you got the 10 off track. Oh. Loses the car down there. Hate to see it for Owens for sure. You see there now Elliott looking to get on back up here to be in that battle once the cycle of pit stops are complete. So you see there the leader did put his teammate Neckridge 1 lap down as KT looks to come on by this group. As KT is on the freshies of freshies. You see there the 44 applying that dirty air to the 66 to get him a wee bit tight. So Taylor running a very great race. So if a caution does come out, Neckridge will be the first car 1 lap down. But then everybody else behind him will get their laps back. Because those drivers will still have to pit. So oh, you see Madigan get tight again in front of the 94. Hmm. So once everything gets cycled out, these two will shuffle out to be your leaders. Of actually be Farmer, Madigan, and Barton. So Farmer will cycle out to be your leader once these pit stops, rest of the pit stops happen. So.
Oh yes, indeed, because Barton has gotten lost some type of ground to Farmer and Madigan both. Holy moly! So Farmer, well, to be honest, I don't know, to be honest, Brian, because Barton's right there on the heels of Madigan and Farmer both. I tell you, Madigan keeps either getting in the wall or keep running out of real estate. He keeps finding the wall, but he keeps finding his way back into the podium positions during the cycles of pit stops occurring. Alpenchowski in the pits now, so only 5 more cars left to finish this pit cycle. It should be finished by the time we get to 85. So then we could do our Crank It Up segment. But I tell you what, the way Botten keeps, or not Botten, Manigan. Like I said, Manigan, he keeps kind of losing track position, but he keeps running it back down. So every week, Manigan is one of the top 5 runners to beat, it seems. So he's really running and gunning for a championship this season, it looks like. But a lot of contenders in the way, that is for sure, as far as contending with that title with him.
You see there, Farmer is now back on a lead lap by getting on past the 44. Now it is Madigan and Bolton's turn to get around them, and Elliott. So Elliott is right there with them.
You know, to be honest, I don't know if this is the strategy that JT, O'Brien, and Roberts is actually really, truly trying to be on the winning side of. I don't see, well, now that these guys, you know, the ones that had pitted after lap 33, that started the initial cycle, and then the second tier of cycle of going on.
Oh, Nelly!
Yeah, 3 wide for a moment, coming out of turn 2, down the back straightaway, trying to navigate around slower traffic here.
Thank you,
Baker.
Elite Cup Racing Xbox has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Oh, man.
So does that mean he's a member of the Elite? If he has, never mind. That's a joke. That's a wrestling joke, by the way. So
I saw some smoke there, so I wasn't really.
Yeah, Manigan keeps flirting with disaster. Yeah, I think that was iRacing losing some frames because he was also during the puff of smoke going down the straightaway. He also kind of he lost his front clip and then it reappeared. So I think there was just some iRacing blunder.
There's the caution.
You want something to drink? Yes.
Oh, Greg Elliott. Captain Morgan.
The first caution of the day, Will.
Is that what they used to hand Jimmy? No wonder. But yeah, it doesn't. That's gonna turn the race all up on up on its head here, and Greg Elliott. It went back to Greg, but Baker coming out of the pits here. What transpires?
Oh, right there.
Oh! Farmer and Elliott getting too close for comfort. Not the first time this season we've seen this arrive. So Looks like Elliott going low, maybe trying to pass down low. Yes, he is. He's got some downward momentum downhill, but then gets tight, and he's going to walk the dog up the track, up the hill, into Farmer. Farmer kind of came down and side drafted him in the center of the corner. That could have made the car tight. Farmer runs out of real estate, and oh, man. That is what we call close racing, as close as you can get. And
Yeah,
man, oh man.
it kind of looked like Elliott was putting the air on Farmer to push him up to get him that tight.
Yeah,
And when he hit the wall, he might have ricocheted off a little bit, and then back into Elliott, and then unfortunately clipped the nose of the 8, and the 8 just lost it. So that will do that. So now everybody coming down the pits. Well, yeah. Even those who pitted earlier are coming down the pits.
well, yes, because it was about 10 laps, if not 15, from when the second pit cycle was starting to occur, Brian. So, makes sense to go ahead, unbolt the old 10 to 15 lap old tires and just get newer ones on, like you talked about. No, unlimited set of tires here. No quick fixes, or one quick fix. Excuse me. So anything is still up in the air. Anything is quite possible with this reset here. Lap 85, 86 when the caution occurred. So lap 91, more than likely 92, somewhere in that ballpark. When we go back green flag action, I tell you, this truly turns the race. It's a true headstand at the moment. The number 10 of Owens is out of the race, first car out of the race, and he was running just outside the top 10 last time I looked on the scoring board when I had to make my abrupt exit to the bathroom, but I'm not sure why Owens is out of the race. Like I said, he was just outside the top 10 a handful of laps ago before the caution came out. So, hate to see that for him.
Anyway,
I wonder. Go ahead.
I was going to say thanks to iRacing for bringing us this great sim racing, and for us to put on great shows for everybody who is looking into getting iRacing. You can see the great physics of iRacing itself to a lot of our Xbox fans out there that want to transition over. I do have a few people who I used to race with are coming over to the iRacing platform, so they enjoy the streams, they like what they see, so they're going to give it a whirl. So it's always good if I can help people out with showing them broadcasts and clips and stuff like that to see what they think of it. Then why not come over? You can do a month and all that other stuff too as well. It
You can buy
get
years at a time too. But you have to apply a lot of time,
Yes.
dedication into it, because yeah, there is a plug and play aspect to it, but it's not really advertised as a plug and play. It's advertised as a true sim, and it is a true sim. A set of Corsa Competizione, R Factor, iRacing, all these sims drive differently from one another. You cannot just get on each sim and say drive the same car on all three sims. All sims are going to handle differently, but that is in a way the blessing of each sim being available to the public, and iRacing in general having real good tire packages on each discipline of car that you have access to. Every track on iRacing is such a great tool, because if you're a very well amateur driver, you can have a low budget sim rig. Well, I say low budget, but to meet your budget sim rig, and if you need to, use it as a tool and then go out that weekend and race at the track that you're racing at.
Anyway.
There's a lot of... Go ahead, yes.
Green
Getting
flag.
the green flag back here at lap 91, like I talked about, so just over 43 laps to go, Brian. Jason Taylor leads them into turns 1 and 2 here. on this restart. He gets one heck of a restart too from O'Brien on that bottom line, which the bottom line just did not get going. Don't know if O'Brien was in too much of a high gear for that, but anyway, yeah, Randy Sample, he gets another good start too. So man, oh man.
Yeah, we'll let them complete a lap or two just in case, and then we'll shift over to our best part of the night. But you see the upper
You can
Chester,
see
Neckridge, Baker, Trzynski, Miller, Collins are still trapped one lap down due to all that. So
some 3 wide going on. A lot of people trying to get what they can get on this initial restart here. We had the opening 85, 86 laps of green. Love to see it. We had a pit stop and a half. We were almost 2 complete pit stop cycles done.
absolutely.
And we still expect these drivers to owe us a pit stop to end this race. They cannot make it home on a full tank from here on out. So we still need, they still owe us one more pit stop, whenever that may be. A few drivers here trapped a lap down by that caution coming out. So going to have to see if they can get the lucky break they need to get back on the lead lap for sure.
Anyway, we are going to go to our favorite section of the night. A lot of these drivers are still finessing it up a little bit. Before we miss anything else, so we're going to give you the wonderful sounds and close-ups and in-car views of these AMS Cup drivers, and enjoy. Anyway, we come back here. We have Elliott. We saw a little 3 wide under that little crank it up section, Will. Which was
Yeah, they were 3
sketchy.
wide. They were slide jobbing each other. They were side drafting each other. They were doing everything they could. At the moment, it just seems to be that top line domination that we come to know to love here at Kansas. Like you even talked about it last week, week before last, Kansas, it's going to be that top lane, it's going to be hard to get anything going on the bottom. We've seen a couple of drivers get stuff going on the bottom, but it's either going to be, chaotic or kind of slide job trying to get back to the top, right? So it's very difficult. The drivers that actually precisely can get the car hooked up on the top, it looks like they're on rails. Cars that are lingering on the bottom, they can get down there, but you're not going to be able to stay down there too consistently long. Roberts, he doesn't know if he wants to be in the wall or not. 25 laps to go here, 24 to go, I do believe. 24. So,
Coming to 24.
Will Roberts currently leading this pack. Like we talked about, we still need one pit stop, one more full, not quite a full tank, just enough gas to get us home. We do speculate. Might want to just get a little bit more in the tank in case green, white, checkered, but even if we do get some type of caution flag in the closing laps, you almost suspect everybody bring it back down for another 4 tires on the car. Brian, you almost have to speculate. Somebody's got to play some type of fuel strategy. Roberts really dragged the wall down, and he's going to lose a lot of track position here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Man, he goes way back in this train of cars here, Brian. So,
lost 6 positions from hitting that wall there, Will.
Yeah, he was trying to just bring it on down. Him and Philip Bridgman's going to have to get on a demo crew and work these walls down, don't you think? So, man, he's still up here though. 20 laps to go. 21 laps to go. Something in that ballpark. I'm either getting ahead or
22.
a bit too early.
Coming to 21.
21. So, who else is going to get in the wall? You almost, Madigan, he's in the lead. We haven't seen him too much in the lead. He's really been fighting, clawing, digging, scraping to get in that clean air. And it's not really been one of those races where the leader just breaks away. The only biggest lead we have seen has been, I want to say, by Boughton, and he only had a 4.5 second lead, and that was because pit stops. So, it's really been...
Contact by the 65 and the 46.
So they're really leaning on each other, side drafting one another. They are really digging at it here in the closing laps at Kansas. Like I said, to be fair, I do think there are maybe a couple of drivers that can really, truly get it home. But
it's going to be close. It's going to be close.
Yes. It's going to be awfully close. Now, we do know that those drivers is Jason Taylor, Farmer, Michael Cochran in the Sinclair machine that we know of that have done it in this race already, that have went to, say, lap 40, lap 38, lap 41, on fuel, in that fuel window. We've seen other people only go 33, 35, 36 laps. So can these drivers that have been up here in the top 8, top 9, can they actually go the final 40, I want to say it was 41 laps when we went back green? Can they do it? Can...
I don't know. That's cutting it pretty daggone close, that's for sure.
Oh, it's cutting it super close, especially for drivers, like Boughton. And who else up here? Boughton, Bonini, O'Brien. maybe. I know
Yeah.
Greg Elliott. Greg Elliott has not. I don't
Oh,
recall Elliott. Elliott, Manigan, Botten. They have not been long. They've been kind of coming in when everybody else been coming in kind of early, kind of right when the window opens, right? So just have to keep sitting on our hands, waiting and seeing on the edge of our seats here, as it is a fierce, and I mean fierce battle. You can't even shake them off with a stick.
no, they are like nose to tail. Eight modes.
About to be 15 laps to go next time by 16 circuits remaining at this moment in time. JT having to come up and shut the door on Greg Elliott there, so and now Greg's just going to push him down the back straightaway. Kansas,
Oh
the back
no!
straightaway.
Oh!
Caution,
Wow!
what you got when you get a chance.
Well, those two were leaning on each other for 5 laps. It was just a matter of time before something like that happened. I do hate to see it for these two, as they were coming
Man,
at
the
a
stream's
full.
kind of behind tonight.
Yeah, it is, but that's
No, I
alright.
mean like on Discord. But that's all, yeah, like you said, that's all right. Man, yeah, like you talked about, man, they just
Oh,
came together. One was coming up, one was coming down. So
it's
easy, simple to do here at Kansas. And they both were probably going to try to side draft one another, no doubt. And we don't have to worry about anybody who's going to be good or not with fuel mileage. I tell you, heartbreak in both of these camps, in the Botten camp and in the 94 camp of, excuse me, that is Botten, Manigan, and the 76 camp of Manigan. So, Botten, Manigan, hard charging, hard, fierce, neck and neck racers here. They were both battling for the lead. That is for sure, and to be said.
absolutely. Oh, Madigan slipped past his box.
So all the lead lappers come down and pit. If anybody wanted to, if they could, as far as if they think we might get some breeding cautions here, maybe take a wave around Brian, and we could get more cars back on the lead lap than just one. Manigan does slide through his pit stall. How long will that be for Manigan?
Oh, and I think he stalled it out. There he goes.
He took his fast repair. Madigan takes his fast repair, which you would kind of suspect to happen. And I think Botten takes his fast repair as well. Both those cars brand new, back out on the circuit.
Avery McDonald won the race off of pit road.
Makes you think, what type of strategy did Avery take? Did he take how quick was Avery's pit stop?
Let's see. 9.9.
Oof. So could have been a right side tire deal here, which at Kansas, really track position, clean air. Tires do mean a lot, but as long as you got at least maybe right sides. I mean, we saw Denny on that restart last night. He got 8 up, but it's a gamble. What's she gonna do? As Hogan would say.
We saw the difference in 2 tire stops compared to 4. Martin started 10th on the restart, and
finished 4th.
Yeah, within less than a lap, he was already up there to about 4th. So 4 tires are key. I'm sitting there hollering, and so was he at James.
Yeah, thank goodness I muted my mic in the broadcast last night, or Joshua I might have just, thank goodness, right? I probably would have made a fool of myself. I know I had Joshua, he's like, "You still with me, Will? Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, yes, my apologies, I forgot I muted myself."
That's a typical Will moment.
Yes, I was like, "Oh yes, I was just watching the post-race interviews, my apologies." poor Chris Buescher, he looked like someone just told him his best friend died. It wasn't like a family member or nothing, you know. It's like, you know, hey, you know, your dog just died. It's like, oh, like, I mean, the look on his face, man, it looked like
It
he
was
was gonna beat.
priceless.
Oh man,
But,
it looked like he about to jump on somebody.
yeah, he was gonna pull some WWE RKO move on Kyle Larson or the NASCAR officials. But anyway,
I
well,
mean,
I
he did
do.
give Larson the whole lane up there, so
He did. He did. He raced them clean back to the line. That's all that matters.
you gotta, you know, like if he should have just tugged a hard right and shut the door on Larson, you know, if he didn't want to
Well,
have that look after the race like he did. I'm just saying,
well,
there's multiple ways.
Larson did door him a little bit, but Chris Buescher
Oh
don't.
yeah, oh yeah.
Buescher don't race that way, so he wouldn't do it. But anyway, well, our two tires
Act.
gonna alter this restart.
In my opinion, Larson did it cleanly. Like that's a.
Oh,
That,
there you go. Good start.
man, I'm so far behind even on the Discord share. Oh, okay, there it goes. It refreshed. Yeah, good start for Avery. I don't know what happened to everybody else. They're just sleeping on the job, driving Miss Daisy around apparently. And I was correct, Brian. We did have a whole bunch of wave-arounders. So, but they were not caught up yet to the field, I don't think, when we went back green.
I don't think so.
Not fully. Ten laps remaining. Can Avery hold off all the hard, mad, maybe demon-possessed Chargers? You never know. There's a dinosaur in the field, so there could be some demons afoot. But Will Roberts way back down here. I didn't know, you know, whenever I jumped in the booth, I would have so many doppelgangers clones of myself back out on the racetrack watching. I tell you,
Right.
I never would have thought. And to be fair, they drive a lot like me, so it does, like it really makes me double check, make sure I'm not out there driving. You know, Ernie King's Will Roberts really reminds me of the early years, and then this Will Roberts reminds me of literally when I was in the 78 car. I know, right? Very ironic. Anthony, that's not me in sixth place. I wish it was.
But anyway, he's trying to get that bottom lane to progress, to scrounge up every little ounce that he can get. Will, you see here, 8 laps to go. Avery with the 2 tires strat, holding it off pretty good, Will, I must say.
And that jump he got on the restart, man, that was a heck of a restart. That's what you need, especially taking a what we speculate is 2 tires.
But I tell you what, ever since I came to this platform, it is well deserved. Somebody's in the wall because I heard it. But it's a well deserved one. You see that Will Roberts looking to take, it's not you, Will, P4 away from O'Brien there. He's getting that inside lane to work eventually.
Oh, he is, yes.
With a little bit of help from Farmer there, because Farmer does come down a little bit. So he's giving him that extra little toe a little bit here, as you see here. But the 65's teammate in front of him going to help him pull him on by the 78 of Will Roberts. So 5 laps to go here tonight. Avery McDonald with the 2 tires strat looking to progress pretty good. And the dyno is in the wall there. So, oh, well. Well, he is trying everything on that bottom lane, but he just has no help with a toe on by the 65. So
3 laps to go, 4 laps to go, 3? 4. 4. Huh?
Will, don't hit the wall because there. You've been taking that wall down a little bit, Will. You don't want to hit it. But yeah, 3 laps to go. McDonald up. We have a lead change here for second as Taylor goes on by Farmer.
I was going to say they're getting awful racy for second place, and that's what Avery wants to see in that rearview mirror, whichever rearview mirror he chooses to use. So,
but Will, that is pulling the 78 and the 65 even closer.
Oh yeah, a big barn burner finish here for second place. I don't know if they'll be able to catch Avery. I think they're just outside the toe here for Avery, unless they can.
Caution's out. There it is.
Getting acclimated footers is still difficult.
Who wrecked? It doesn't show me who wrecked. Somebody did because there's smoke. Was it the 98? No, because caution's out already. Unless that was an admin slip of the finger deal. Somebody wrecked, that's for sure. And I don't know who it was.
That's a tough heartbreak for Avery.
That is. I'm trying to figure out who wrecked. Because I don't think anybody wrecked. At least that I'm aware of, because it would have went through it. It just said caution was out. So I'm like, okay. See right there, I heard somebody lose it. Oh, there it is. Oh, man. Oh! Hate to see it. So, it was Miller. Yeah.
So the 82 and the 5 just hard racing coming off of turn number 4 and the closing 3 laps of the race. I want to say 2 laps to go. And man, oh man, green, white, checkered here for the field. And if you're Avery, you just want to try to get another good launch like you did on the previous restart. And if you're the rest of the field, you just really want to time that.
And it's funny because it's just like you said, gets you enough fuel just in case you have a green, white, checker. And unfortunately, this is what we're seeing. Lucas does not agree with that. He's got his paws over his eyes like, no, no, no. I know. They were just ever so close from completing the race. Yeah. I got my buddy. He always watches the races. Always nice to have a good friend as a pup to watch the races with you. Anyway, could Avery get that good start again? I think the restarts are on leader's discretion, I do believe.
Yes.
And I think that's what Avery did. Went on his
If I'm not
discretion.
mistaken, the rule is once the pace car peels off, the leader has discretion. It's something along those lines. Once pace car peels off the racing surface, and you can go anywhere from there to the line or right before something. Yes. So, like you say, kind of leader's discretion or Avery McDonald, Josh Farmer, Jason Taylor, Sean O'Brien. That's the first two rows. Manigan, Cochran, Bonini, Neckridge, Spear, and Roberts. That rounds out the top 10.
I know Kevin is wishing for one more caution because then that will put him on the lead lap. This is BillElliott.com.
Now that's the McDonald's. Like whenever Bill went to make up, Bill left. He quit driving for.
There you go. Right out.
Al Waltrip drove for him for a long time. But anyway, long story short, different. That was whenever Bill Elliott went to make his own race team there. So.
Caution.
Ostrander.
Yeah, they're both.
I don't know if he got touched or what happened, but it happened further back in the field. Ostrander. I think Ostrander just gets loose and comes down the track.
Oh no! Oh!
Yeah, you're correct. Oh no. Oh, that's not Ostrander. Oh, that is Greg Elliott, defending series champion. Man, the car just gets away from him. And man, oh man, tough, hard crash here. And this is going to result in our second green, white, checkered attempt. I thought it was Ostrander, but similar paint schemes, that'll do that to you.
So
Happened right.
Tyler, thanks
Yeah,
for the like,
right.
buddy. Thank you.
Right as Greg Elliott kind of went to catch the car, Ostrander kind of there and just kind of finished him off. But I think Elliott was going to lose it regardless because of maybe the like the overcorrection that he had done. But then, Baker.
I think Kevin got lucky to get his lap back.
What a hard hit. I don't know if Kevin does get his lap back. I think Baker might have grazed him.
We'll find out.
As we know.
If we see the 12 come flying by.
If he's already taken his lap back, but no, he hasn't yet. Avery working the flat around the racetrack, so that may mean he didn't take enough fuel to account for green, white, checkers, Brian. So just enough. Just enough to get to the end he was hoping for.
Yep.
So maybe could we see the race leader fumble, trying to take the second green, white, checkered. Only 4 cautions, but back to back here.
Well,
to wind things down.
That's how it was in the real race. The last closing laps, they had a caution fest. I don't know if KT got his lap back. No, he probably didn't. Might have had some contact from that with the 3.
I seen Baker whenever Baker ricocheted back down after the initial contact with Elliott, he got sent back down and grazed the passenger side of Kevin. So Unfortunate circumstances does not let Kevin get back on the lead lap here this evening, at least not at the moment. We could have one more green white checkered attempt.
Yes, sir.
So,
Anyway, well,
which I don't
tomorrow
think
night.
Avery wants to see.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, he doesn't. He wants to get this race done. He's got the strategy played out well. But tomorrow night, we are back live a little bit earlier time than what these guys go out, as we take the B&R truckers to the Indy Oval. So those truckers will take on Indianapolis Oval at 8:25 is when we'll be live. At 8:30 will be the 8:31, 8:32 is when the green flag will fall. So anyway, well, they're gonna get it lined back up again. Can Avery carry at speed again? Poor Kevin. I know he wanted his lap back so bad. Will Roberts. P11. Oof. You see the 46 doing some scuffage there of the tires. Will we see another caution? Because I think these boys do get unlimited attempts. And just like that, Avery's off.
Green flag.
Tremendous jump for Avery, but Manigan, he is pushing JT into turn one. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not Manigan. That was Sean O'Brien. Sean O'Brien all over the back of his teammate JT into turn one, getting a tremendous push through the corner. But Avery, he's got Josh Farmer to worry about. Josh making the pass to the inside, going into 3 and 4 here.
White flag is out.
White flag is out and taken by the race leaders. What's going to happen on the final lap?
Oh. Oh no!
Oh, Manigan and Farmer in the wall coming out of turn number 4. But it looks like Avery gets the win here this evening. Oh, Bonini.
I hate to see it for them. So Avery is your winner. As he's burning it down. What a lick by the 35. So P1 would be Avery, P2 would be Jason Taylor, P3 would be Sean O'Brien, P4 would be Michael Cochran, P5 would be Aaron Spear, P6 would be Randy Sample, P7 will be Will Roberts, P8 will be Joseph Madigan, P9 will be Keenan Miller, P10 will be Josh Farmer, P11 will be Justin Openchowski, P12 will be Chris Ostrander, P13 will be John Neckridge, P14 will be Adam Bolton, P15 will be Clint Collins, P16 will be Antonio Benani. P17 will be Michael Trzynski. P18 will be Brian Baker. P19 will be Greg Elliott. P20 will be Michael Carter. And P21 will be Matt Owens. So, we'll go ahead and get in Sean. Sean, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
How's it going, sir?
Another top 3 under the belt. Can't be mad.
Hey, wild run. Some long green flag runs earlier on. Just overall, great race in general, I say, from up here. But then expected towards the end, everybody starts getting a little antsy. The caution started to come out. So, awesome job on the podium tonight, P3. There was a wild doozy there that went on a little bit beside you or behind you. Walk us through how the overall race went for you and your thoughts.
Yeah, me and Jason, we both kind of had the idea of trying to 3-stop this, or I guess 2-stop it actually. When we started the race, we were about 3 laps short, so we were just saving fuel the whole time. That's why we went longer than everyone, about 12, 13 laps longer each run. And man, if we didn't get any cautions, we were gonna make it. So it would have been interesting to see how that would have played out. But yeah, just classic cautions breed cautions. We were mostly just sitting back, saving most of the race, just riding the bottom, saving gas, while all those other guys just went on the top, burned their stuff up. But yeah, ended up, not how we thought we'd get there, but still got 2 top 3s. Can't be mad.
Exactly, I wouldn't be mad either. So, in your perspective, which lane did you think was the dominant lane? Because I know for a while you guys were all on top. And then I didn't know if it got a little tight up there, lacking grip. And then we noticed you and JT were starting to finesse the bottom lane more.
Yeah, it's really what you want to do. If you just want to go out, the fastest line is the high line for 1 lap.
Yes, sir.
Over the course of the run, because you're burning your tires more on the high line, the bottom line is technically faster over the course of a run. So it was really, did you want to go fast for the first 15 laps, or did you want to go fast for the last 15 laps? And me and Jason wanted to go fast for the last 15 laps.
Yes, sir, indeed. Bottom lane ended up working out pretty good for some, that is for sure. I do believe next week you guys are at Darlington. I do believe so. What is going to be the mindset going into Darlington, and then the strategy that is going to play out with Darlington? Because I know Darlington is a very tricky track. It's the toughest one on the schedule, I would say, with a lot of lifting, 9 times out of 10. So walk us through your thoughts about Darlington and what's going to be the strategy going into there.
Yeah, strategy is just going to be surviving, just keeping that car in one piece, avoiding that Darlington stripe. You'll probably see a lot more people, even more people, run the wall than you did this week, which I'm always a fan of. Darlington is really kind of a 1-lane racetrack, so you'll have a lot of guys side by side fighting for 1 lane, so it should be fun.
Yes, sir, indeed. Anyway, sir, awesome job on a podium finish. Any final thoughts, shout outs you want to give before we get you on your way?
Just shout out to Jason S. Taylor to tell me how to drive this place. Shout out to the admin team and shout out to you guys.
Thank you, sir. And once again, awesome job on a podium finish. Hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week.
Alright, thanks guys.
No problem. Next up will be Jason. I'll let you handle that one once I get him up here. Taylor, you got a copy?
Hey, boys.
How's it
Howdy
going?
doody.
Oh, a bit more frustrated this week. Not as high spirited.
Gotcha.
You basically frustrated because, like, we were seeing some cautions play out, or Avery taking 2 tires, or tell us what you're frustrated with.
Yeah, let's start with like the lap 85, 87 caution.
Yes, 80. Yes.
Whoever was the cause of that really saved the field from losing by a lap, basically. So so there's that. Then there's the restarts that Avery were doing were pretty. It's well within his rights and the rules, but they were just like the pace car wasn't even off the track on 2 of them, and it's just like I don't know. It didn't sit well with me, I guess. So, bit frustrated. Had the strategy to win it there, and yeah, got second. Second best, but it was supposed to be a win. So.
Yeah, I'd have to say pretty much dominant piece of the evening as far as, like you said, strategy being played out and everything, all the cards being put on the table whenever we were cycling. We were almost done with the second cycle of pit stops, like you said, the caution comes out. But, after the first cycle of stops and everything had happened, man, it was something else as far as the sequence that had unfolded, and then the second one was. Go ahead.
Would you believe that halfway through the beginning of that first run and the second run, I was clutching, just the entire time clutching.
Still, I was miraculously surprised with the pace that you were still setting while going longer than everybody. I was surprised at that. So I was not. Now that you tell me that you were clutching and everything, I'm not as surprised. But I was at the moment of happening. I was very surprised that you were able to go longer than everybody else. When everybody that you were battling was starting to come in sooner, and you're like, I can go 8, maybe 10 more laps here, longer than that, right? Like 15.
It wasn't even like as soon as he pulled off on 33, I was like, oh, they're 3-stopping. I got this. Because the math before the race, the math didn't math right for me. So you had either a 33 lap run and you do that 3 times, or you go like 45 twice and make a 44 lap run at the end, right? And we were only a lap short on fuel for making 45 laps. So I just, and as long as you're saving tires, they're not going to be. They're going to start off a second faster, and that's about it. I'm only going to fall off a second, especially saving fuel and tires. I'm only going to fall off a second, so the math just didn't math right, and that's part of them Jedi skills I got.
Yeah, I think it was either the first or second pit stop. You cycled back out, and you stayed within the top 10. So that was spot on. Like whatever you were doing besides the clutching and everything else that you were doing to conserve and just be spot on with the strategy, it was paying off. And like you said, Avery playing all those mind games and tricks and things up his sleeve that he was doing in those restarts late in the going. Maybe if you had one more restart, because I think Avery just took enough to maybe get one green white checkered in. He luckily had enough fuel for 2, so I don't know.
I really think that they were about that one caution that came out. Me and Sean went in and put a gallon of fuel in just in case we went into some overtime. Because when cautions breed cautions, right? And you want to be safe, and we were taking tires anyway, so we were going to sit there. So you might as well put a gallon. Also kind of weighs down the back end and keeps you a little bit looser. So it's like a trade-off. You're going to put more weight on, but you're going to keep your car down on the ground and more hooked up in the corner, so you'll be a little bit faster. So there's a bit of a trade-off there, and I could have won. I certainly could have bumped Avery into the wall and it just all I had to do was give him a little tap in the right rear, and I would have pushed him up into the wall, and I would have drove right under him. But I was gonna do it in turn one, and I just didn't, and turned under him. So it was there, and I just the good in me got the better of me, I guess. So I like being a clean race car driver, and shenanigans with Sean after the race are one thing, but during a race, I don't want to. I don't want to screw anybody like that, But I could. Oh man, I was gonna, and then I turned down.
Mad momentum though on your side. Going into Darlington. This was the first race of the playoff series, so second race of the playoffs, Darlington. What's the mindset, the preparation, the thoughts going into Darlington, Jason?
I've always struggled at Darlington. It's just one of those places I just struggle a little bit at. And it's because I'm more focused on racing the racetrack, so I end up getting caught up with people I'm not really trying to race, if that makes sense. So it just never really turns out my way, but I got a throwback scheme that I'm going to bring next week to one of my first wins in another league, and it's a really good scheme. Nope, we did not go to Pocono. You guys haven't seen it yet. You'll see it next week. It's a good one.
Well, Jason, any final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else you'd like to give before we let you go celebrate the podium finish here?
Yeah, shout out to my boy Sean O'Brien finishing P3. Good on him. Always like to see Black Flag finishing well. He's my guy. Thanks to you two for putting on the show for us and the admins of the league, and the sponsors that support this league are like second to none. You can't go wrong and with like, it's just thank you so much for putting this on to the admins and to you guys. It means a lot to the racers. I promise you.
Well, JT, thanks for the kind words, sentiments, and everything else. Hopefully, you can have a good, better-ish, than normal Darlington run. Darlington was kind of always an iffy track for me too. So, best of luck next week, and thanks for talking to us tonight.
Thank you. Hope to hold up the big one in the end.
You got it, buddy. Last up, Will, we got whenever. There you go. Avery, you got a copy.
Oh, I'm here.
Avery, so, we suspect you took some right side tires, did you?
Oh yeah, we took some right sides. Had to take a risk. I mean,
Yeah.
we were gonna finish 11 at the
Obviously paid
12.
off.
It didn't work.
Oh, it obviously did. Like you talked about, you were like 11th, 12th, just outside the top 10, maybe inside the top 10 car, but you wasn't really a top 5 car tonight. You wasn't really a contender until you bolted on just those right side tires, and you won the race off pit road. You got the track position. Track position, truly, at the end of the day, all you really ever need from time to time, depending on the track. And Kansas, definitely one of those tracks where track position can be king. And man, just tell us about trying to get the best start or jump restart that you can, being a race leader, and how important that is.
Well, I knew I had some pace, and I knew we had about 20 laps to go. And I'm like, if I don't get a good start in AMS, we can go anytime between the pace car goes off and the green flag. So I just dropped the hammer right away. I built the gap about 2 seconds and just kept the foot to the floor and I ran the high line. I knew for a 20-lap run I could run the high line, and it was going to support me to the end. It was just a bummer. The caution came out on 2 laps to go. I had to fight off some really strong competitors. Farmer was really racing me good and clean. So was Jason and Sean and the whole crew. But we just had to get good restarts. And when it came down to the end on the green-white checkered, I just had to change it up a little bit. I was really bad in 1 and 2 on the restart, so I just knew if I had a little bit of a gap and they didn't get around me on 3 and 4, I should be all right. But just real thankful to get the win. This was in honor of my wife's grandpa who passed on Saturday, so we went down to Kansas City to see him, went to the race for a little bit, but just glad to get the win, and I haven't won since 2021, so in the league, so just real happy to get a win here at Kansas.
Well, I'm sorry about your
That's a long
loss.
drought.
Much prayers go out to you and the family. So, absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. We
Yes.
appreciate it. So, but yeah, it was a fun race. Come to Kansas. I was good last year. I'm usually pretty good here. Had some speed on the long run, and I knew I could run the short run if I really needed to, but I never did until that time happened. So I was just real happy. This is one of my better tracks. So I couldn't think of a better track to get the win, though.
Well, next week's Darlington. What you think about Darlington, Avery?
I really like Darlington. Sometimes I'm hit or miss there. I'm kind of hoping I can bring a little bit of the Kansas magic to Darlington. So I really like the track. I like tracks that you got to run up against the wall and run a little bit different. Not just run the bottom. So maybe we'll get some practice in. We'll see. I head out of town this weekend, so we'll see what we can do. Just excited to get the win, and we'll just carry the momentum into Darlington and just try to get a good place in the points. We're racing for points. I'm just racing for fun, though. I've been running with these guys since 2009, so it's just fun to run with the core group since 2009. So it's just cool to be racing with them every week, and we just have a good time. That's the main thing.
Yes, sir. It's
And
always
that's the
good
most
to
important thing.
it's always good to shake the points up too with a lot of the drivers not being in the playoffs, but you're still there just to race to have fun. Also, it can be a big spoiler too in points too as well. So, and that's something that you did here tonight with the strategy and just working your tail off for sure with the 2 tire strat. Because Will did ask me, he goes, "What was Avery's pit time?" I'm like, "Well, he had about a 9-second pit stop." But like, yeah, that's 2 tires and some fuel. Now the question is, if you guys would have had another caution, did you have enough fuel?
Oh yeah, I had enough. I was just saving though, just in case. I mean, that's why I was clutching on the clutching fifth gear on the bottom of the racetrack. We had enough fuel, but I didn't want to run up in the. I don't get to run in the lead very much. I don't get to lead too many laps, so I didn't want to poop it away for running out of
Right.
fuel. So,
Right.
but
That's understandable.
it's a great way to start the month of May with I'm heading to Indy next weekend for qualifying, and I'll head right back there for the 500. So a good way to start the month of May with the win here.
I wish I could tag along with you.
Yes, Will is a big motorsports freak.
Yeah, it's always a good time. I'm going to be hanging out with Aaron Spear, one of our league members who finished in the top 5. So we're going to be hanging out, qualifying. I think he might maybe bring his kids. I'm bringing my 8-year-old cousin. So it should be a good time. I'm excited.
Hey, I could pass for a kid. Kids get in free, right, for practice and qualifying and stuff.
With the paid admission of the adults. So that's. I'm not saying that's why she's coming, but it helps.
Oh, well, I mean, I was just joking. I could not pass as a kid at all, but I'm just saying my mentality at times. Anyway, Avery, safe travels and everything. Thanks for talking to us tonight there, winner. And big congratulations, like Brian said, shaking at the points. And, you may not be running for driver standings, but, overall standings at the end of the season and so forth. So good to see a fresh winner or a different winner of the season as well. Final thoughts, shout-outs, anything else, Avery, you'd like to add before we let you go celebrate?
Yeah, just barely squeaked in the chase. Going to try to make some noise here, but I want a big shout out to noise. Big shout out to the rest of the admin crew, Kenan, Greg, KT, and Chris for help keeping this thing rolling. All the drivers have been a really good season. Had 21 drivers show up for the first race of the chase, which I think is really good. Just thanks to everybody for coming out, and if you're either watching or if you're keeping up on our social media on Facebook or in our Discord, just. I got a lot of things to keep the thing ticking, so just real thanks to them and all the members. So we'll be back at Darlington, hopefully we'll probably run the McDonald's car because it looks cool with my last name. So, but maybe some guys have some throwbacks. But yeah, thanks again, guys, for doing always a good job, and we really appreciate the coverage.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's an honor to have us here covering these races for you. We appreciate it ever so much. But awesome job on the one.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Have a good night.
You too. Anyway, Will, that was a good show.
Pretty great Kansas race, yes. Every time we come to Kansas, doesn't matter what series, what league we cover, man, it's always going to put on a good show. Next week for AMS, like we've talked about, Darlington, And then tomorrow, like Brian's talked about, we are at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway to bring you BNR Truck Series action from the Brickyard. 7:30 Central, 8:30 Eastern on this BAT channel. Race results again. So, yeah, fantastic Kansas race. Next week's Darlington, like I just spoke about. So, thanks each and every one of you for coming out, tuning in, cheering on the favorite AMS racing driver, or just here chilling with me and Brian. But like I said, until tomorrow, we will be back at Indianapolis. So let's keep Avery's family, like he talked about, on his wife's side. I do believe it was passing away. Grandfather it was. Anyway, family. Keep his family in your prayers. And, until we meet again tomorrow evening, we would like and wish everyone to have a wonderful and safe good night.